They told you the 1950s were all about jukeboxes, milkshakes, and poodle skirts. They lied. The real heart of the 1950s? It was horsepower. It was speed. It was the primal roar of V8 engines echoing through empty highways before dawn. Because behind the American dream, behind the white picket fences and the smiling ads, was a country absolutely obsessed with going faster. The 1950s wasn't just a decade of post-war peace. It was a time when American automakers went to war with each other, not with guns, but with torque, acceleration, and raw, unfiltered power. And yet, most people today completely overlook this era. They call the cars classics, vintage, collectibles. But that's just a polite way of ignoring the truth. These machines were monsters, not just beautiful, deadly fast, not just nostalgic, revolutionary. They were the beginning of America's obsession with speed. And every car that came after owes everything to what these 1950s beasts started. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. You've probably heard of Mustangs, Camaros, Corvettes. You think those were the legends? Think again. Because before all that, there were 12 machines that rewrote the rules. They didn't just accelerate, they dominated. They made men feel invincible and terrified at the same time. And if you don't know these cars, then you don't know American muscle. You don't know history. You don't know the 1950s. So this is your wake-up call. We're not here to show you pretty chrome and tail fins. We're going to expose the raw speed America unleashed during the most misunderstood decade in car history. By the time we're done, your jaw will drop at what these machines were doing. 70 years ago, these are the 12 fastest American cars of the 1950s. And if you think you already know them, you're probably dead wrong. Let's begin. 1. 1957 Chevrolet Corvette Fuelie. This wasn't just a Corvette, it was the Corvette that changed everything. The first with fuel injection, it produced 283 horsepower from a 283 cubic inch V8. That's 1 horsepower per cubic inch. In 1957, that was borderline insane. 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds made it a street-legal missile. It wasn't a car. It was a warning to every other automaker. Chevy didn't build a cruiser, they built a killer. 2. 1956 Chrysler 300B. The 300B wasn't just fast, it was violently fast. With a 354 Hemi V8 pushing 355 horsepower, it was America's first real performance sedan. It could hit 140 miles per hour while weighing over 2 tons. It won on the track, crushed on the highway, and humiliated anything next to it at a red light. The 300B made Chrysler feared, not respected. 3. 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air Phi 8. The Bel Air was the people's car, but in 1955, it turned into a beast. Chevy dropped in their new 265 V8, and suddenly, everyday drivers had race-worthy speed. Lightweight, powerful, and easy to modify, it lit the fuse for America's street racing culture. You didn't just drive a 55 Bel Air, you ruled in one. 4. 1957 Ford Thunderbird. Supercharged Ford didn't want to compete. They wanted revenge, and they got it with the supercharged Thunderbird, packing a 312 V8 with over 300 horsepower. This sleek two-seater wasn't a cruiser anymore. It was a rocket, quiet, clean, and deadly. If the Corvette was flashy, the T-Bird was silently lethal. 5. 1958 Dodge D500. This was a muscle car before the term existed. With a 361 cubic inch V8 and 320 horsepower, the D500 wasn't for amateurs. It looked mild, but moved like a beast. And Dodge made sure it could corner and stop too. A rare combo back then. Real gearheads knew what it was. The rest just got left behind. 6. 1957 Pontiac Bonneville fuel injected. Only 630 were made, but the 1957 Bonneville rewrote Pontiac's destiny. It came with fuel injection and a 347 V8 that screamed with 315 horsepower. It was rare, luxurious, and outrageously quick. It told the world Pontiac wasn't just playing anymore, they were here to win. Quietly, it was one of the most dangerous cars of the decade. 7. 1955 Chrysler C300. This was the birth of the performance car. The C300 packed a firepower HEMI making 300 horsepower. That wasn't a number, it was a threat. NASCAR wins, 130 miles per hour top speed, and a design built to intimidate. Chrysler didn't just introduce a fast car, they declared war on the competition. 8. 1959 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz Luxury? Sure, but the Biarritz had a 390 V8 pushing 345 horsepower. It wasn't built for racing, but it could destroy highways in silence. Sleek, heavy, and brutally smooth, this wasn't just a Cadillac. It was a rolling sledgehammer dressed in a tuxedo. 9. 1957 Studebaker Golden Hawk, the underdog of the decade. With a supercharged 289 V8 and 275 horsepower, the Golden Hawk shocked everyone. It was faster than some Corvettes, cheaper than most sports cars, and came out of nowhere. Studebaker didn't play by the rules, they rewrote them. This one tricked everyone. With huge fins and flashy looks, it seemed like a showpiece. But under the hood, a Golden Commando 361 V8 with 305 horsepower. It was a secret weapon, a drag racer in disguise. And if you underestimated it, you lost. 11. 1957 DeSoto Adventurer forgotten today. Feared back then, the DeSoto Adventurer had 345 horsepower and dual 4 barrels. It hit 60 in 7 seconds, faster than many sports cars of its time. Rare, bold, and built to shock. This car wasn't for collectors, it was for conquerors. 12th, 1958 Chevrolet Impala 348 Turbo Thrust. Chevy went full muscle with this one. The big block 348 V8 cranked 315 horsepower. It looked sharp, sounded mean, and drove like a freight train with wings. The 58 Impala was no longer a cruiser. It was a predator, ready to dominate the streets. So, how many did you actually know? Be honest, did any of these surprise you? Or did we miss one you think should have made the list? Drop it in the comments, and let's see who really knows their 1950s American muscle.